Yo, what's up? My name's Patrouski. Welcome back to Road to PokeMMO Season 3, Episode 27, I believe. Now, today, we are working our way towards 10 million Pokeyen, and you might say, Patrouski, what are you doing? What happened to your cash stack, my man? You're at 133k. That's embarrassing. And you know what? It kind of is. I understand that point. But you know what? Today, I have the privilege, I have the right to show you guys one of the most satisfying feelings within all of PokeMMO. When a shiny flip sells. That's right, I'm so excited. We took a huge risk on this second shiny flip. Putting a ton of our capital into another one was really scary. That video is not out yet. Sometimes as a YouTuber, I feel a little guilty. I feel a little stressed or worried that after I list a video, other people get more eyes on it. It's kind of an advantage that I have, which isn't really fair. But thankfully, that video is not even out yet. So this tentacle sold absolutely on its own merits, which I love to see. It's a great example for you guys. We're going to collect all 3.8 million, starting this episode with the most amount of cash we've had so far is in season 3 of Road to PokeMMO. It really makes you feel like it's happening. It really makes you feel like we will reach 10 mil. Over 4 million Pokeyen. You just love to see it. I still have to train this Squirtle. We'll deal with that little failure from last episode today. But first things first, I'm sure you guys are sick of me saying it, but I'm going to start this episode off with a good old-fashioned gym run. But whoa, before we start our gym run, let's sell off these 2 Pokemon, and I need to pick up another Pokemon to start leveling, because I need to make some passive Pokeyen during that gym run process. I need a leveling mon. I will say these sales are going to be super easy. This Garbodor comp, I'm literally only going to sell for like 35k and just hope it sells. This thing is not good. The Pidgeot comp, a decent comp, but how many people want to comp Pidgeot? Not many people. I'm gonna go ahead and try to sell it for like 40k. I think that's fair. We'll see if it goes. I'd love to get a cheap Shroomish or a Breloom off the GTL right now that's already EV trained. The issue is I can't seem to find anything like already EV trained for a cheap price. However, I am going to pick up this Breloom for 12k. Now, we're going to EV train that later, but that's a really good deal. 12k, I can't go XP train this right now. I'll have to go EV train it and fix it up later. I'm going to need to make a box of Pokemon to be EV trained and trained up. I do have that on my main account, but not on this account yet. But that Breloom being level 61, already so high level, it's one of the slowest leveling Pokemon in the game. Being able to EV train that and sell it later down the line for hundreds of thousands of Pokemon is going to be a huge profit. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just do one of the tried and true easiest Pokemon to level for profit. I'm going to go ahead and buy these 2 Deanos. Maybe I'll check Zwilus really quick as well. So if you're ever looking for something super simple and easy and quick to XP train for profit, Deanos are really your best bet. Because as you can see, I bought those Deanos for around 1,400, 1,500 Pokeyen. Pretty much nothing, right? Hydreigon sells for around 27, 26, 28k. Now you need to level to 64, which is kind of high, but at the same time, like, it's so fast to level these things up for the most part, and it's really passive and easy. They don't really care about EVs and stuff. People are just buying these Hydreigons, like kind of casual players just buying them for fun and kind of collecting high level, you know, scary dragon Pokemon. You kind of just sell them to more casual players. But they do consistently sell. There are a lot of casual players alongside the extreme players in PokeMMO. So it's always important to understand what kind of money-making method you want to do today. Do you want to adhere to those more veteran players, or do you want to try to make some money on some casual players? There's no really wrong answer. But that's enough preamble. Let's get to making some Pokeyen. Let's do a gym run. I definitely don't forget to buy a Richest Charm every single time I go to do this. All right, keep in mind the starting cash stack today is around 4 million. Let's crack the charm. All right, gym run done. So here we are. I actually did 2 gym runs back to back on this account and then on the main account. If you do that, you're a psychopath. I really do not recommend doing multiple gym runs in a day. Nothing will burn you out of this game and just kill your enjoyment of this incredible, beautiful Pokemon game than grinding gym reruns over and over again. Once a day, you know what? It's fine. Get it out of the way. Get that Pokeyen gain. You can kind of focus on doing whatever you want to do, have fun. But at that point, oh man, that's a personal hell. But what we do have to go do is actually go catch an alpha in the Hoenn region. It might be Ditto. I'm not sure what it actually is, but it is in a really good location. It's over in Meteor Falls, really tough location to get to, but that means it's a really good alpha. Could be Lucario, could be Ditto, could be Crobat. I don't even know yet. Yeah, I've got my party. I've got tons of Spore and catching Pokemon and a Magikarp just in case it's a Ditto. I have no idea what it will be, but we are on the journey. Thankfully it's actually not deep in the cave, which is really nice and it makes the catch easy. However, it is an Altaria, which isn't the craziest Pokemon in the world for profit, honestly, in terms of an alpha. I don't think. I could honestly be wrong. It may be better than what I'm expecting. Let me go ahead and check actually how much are like alpha Altarias. I don't think they're going to be anything expensive. Yeah, I mean 40k. We saw a bunch for there, I mean, which is honestly fine. I'll take a free 40k on this account. Dude, alphas are awesome on this account. I love to catch them. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I am going to just go ahead and lead with my Typhlosion and probably just go for an eruption, maybe just a flamethrower. There's a really good chance I don't kill this thing since it does resist. I might just go for an eruption. I'm pretty sure it doesn't kill actually. And then if it does happen to kill, I can just run back. Yeah, look at that, only 40%. I'm not even close to killing this thing. Kind of a monster. But that's good. That's actually a very, very, very good thing. So now I can weaken this easily, much more easily than if I was just false swiping it. So this is going to be a much better way to weaken it. We see it as Heal Bell. That'll be important. I am scared of it having like rest. I'm really, really hoping there's no rest here. 25% HP here. Thankfully, there's no crit. If there was a crit here, I might have actually killed it. Yeah, I definitely would have if I crit there. Heal Bell spam. I want to switch over to something now and Sport. I've only seen Dragon Pulse and Heal Pulse. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and just False Swipe here. The more turns you waste, the better usually with an alpha, since usually, it has Roost. That's what I was scared of. Usually most people are catching them with Timer Balls. So honestly, the more turns you burn, it's kind of the better. I don't really care about the time factor too much, as long as things don't get out of hand or if it doesn't set up or something. All right, low HP, asleep. We're many turns in. Probably the full 10 turns to get that full effect. There we go. Easy catch with the timer. Let's go ahead and check out the stats. How much Pokeyen is this added to the cool? Jolly Nature could be good. 31. That's kind of weird. Honestly, some really strange stats. Won't go for too much. It's male, though. The male is actually huge. So if you look at this, look how cheap these female Altarias are, and the cheapest male one here ends up being 86k. This is what we're looking for. This is obviously 1,000 times better than mine, but what I want to look for is, I'm still looking for Ed Group. We want to look for Dragon, probably Dragon Ed Group. We'll check Flying as well, though, so we're going to check it as an Ed Group, not as an Altaria itself. We'll do Dragon, male. This is going to be bought as a breeder, someone trying to breed up an alpha Pokemon. That's the use of something like this. It's really important to understand the use of the Pokemon you're selling. I think 75k is just going to end up being the price. There's nothing super accurate in comparison to mine. Like everything's kind of like mine's just really wonkily statted. I don't know how someone's, maybe if I search for like Jolly Nature specifically and look for like Jolly, I think, yeah, dude, I think 75k just always ends up being the price here, like pretty much no matter what. So we're going to do 74,500. Pretty easy sale, 70k profit, easy peasy. And you know what? I checked over to the GTL and we had a nice Rotom breed sell, 100k. It really feels like this episode was the accumulation of making all these breeds, getting all this stuff going, having all this stuff happen, and then, man, now out of nowhere, I'm actually sort of reaping the rewards of that long term, all the breeds and everything. And I might have to price check this Ralts since Gallade just got banned from OU. That is going to drastically change how something like that gets priced, unfortunately. Just lowering stuff generally. I try to save some time if stuff doesn't sell and just generally lower prices, like 5 to 15k across the board. This Ralts, however, is in a really weird spot. I'll have to reprice check this. And bam, boom, that Altaria already sold. Easy money. The cash tag now up to 4.4. I might want to do another shiny flip, which is so dumb, but man, are they powerful. This Ralts was mostly fairly priced. I probably should lower it. So there's one that's 175k Jolly with the same like exact sort of stats that mine has going on. Once again, the only issue being is mine's Hasty, which is not nearly as good as Jolly. It's not terrible since honestly, like, Gallade's defense is already so bad that it doesn't really matter. You can't see it. It has really good special defense, but its defense is already so shit that honestly Hasty lowering its defense doesn't really hurt it too much. It's mostly going to die for most physical attacks. I am probably going to essentially, this is going to be a budget Gallade comp for someone looking for it. The issue is no one's really looking for Gallade comps right now. I'm even going to go, yeah, let's just do 130 now. Let's do 140k. The issue is no one's looking for these. Like Gallade just got banned from OU. I don't know who, like someone's going to have to want to buy this for the chance that it gets unbanned in the future, or maybe buy it to flip it. I don't know, but we'll throw it up for 140. But while everybody's posting up their Alterias and everything and people are flipping all the alphas, I'm gonna go ahead and check what shinies have been listed recently. I'm gonna look for some shiny flips. I don't know if there will actually be any, but I want to check some stuff out. 2.9 for this. Like, this is incredibly good stats. The issue is, I think that's probably going to be accurate. 2.9 is really high for a 1x31, so I'm definitely not going to touch that. A cool Palpitoad. Alright, I've already talked about how in this episode, I'm constantly getting rewarded for previous things that I've already implemented. Now, I'm ready to teach you guys about actually snowballing that and how important that is. In PokeMMO, once you start getting rewarded for those grinds, once Pokemon start selling, once the gym run team comes together, once the money comes in, you've got to snowball it. Don't just go spend it all on vanities. Don't go get yourself too many little treats and reward yourself. What you want to do is actually head over to the GTL and start buying more ways to invest and make more money. It's really simple. It's not always easy to do for everyone. So I'm going to start EV training. I'm going to reinvest by making some more EV trained Pokemon to then XP train later on during my gym runs and everything. So I have my Squirtle, which is a really good base. My Squirtle needs 252 special attack and 252 speed. This is a really good place to start, because then I can look for special attacking Pokemon and sort of get a couple Pokemon, like 3 to 5 Pokemon, to EV train with special attack and speed, and then level them up later, make some mediocre competitive Pokemon, or just make some good PVM Pokemon for people. This Ghastly is super solid. Bashful Nature, 25 plus in these 3 stats, 20 plus in these stats. Obviously, it's missing defense, but this is just incredibly solid for 1,100 Pokeyen. Obviously, it's missing Nature. That's the big issue there. I'm actually going to go ahead and check for modest and timid Pokemon just to see if anything really cheap that actually is a special attacker comes up, but that Ghastly is just an uber cheap, decent option. Now, sometimes you don't even want to go for the uber cheap options. Sometimes you want to pay the extra. Like, sometimes I'll pay the extra like 5 to 10k. Like, that Ghastly is only 1k, but it may sell for like 60k or whatever. Honestly, Gengar is a pretty desired Pokemon, especially among casual players, so it may be super worth it, but one ends up seeing. But usually, like, this is 28 modest, like something like this. I'm gonna go ahead and buy that. Go, sure, why not? Something like that can sell for much more down the line, especially if you get to level 100. Noobs and casuals like love their level 100 Gengars with good special attack and nature and everything. They're hot sellers. Speaking of, while we're searching for good Pokemon to EV train and everything, I actually found this Ditto for 8,800 Pokeyen, 31 special attack, 30 speed, timid nature. If you know about Dittos, you know this is underpriced. I'm actually gonna go ahead and just buy that for 9k and flip that really quick. This is obviously not accurate, but the next cheapest Ditto, if I search those stats, is 120k. Let's try to lower things to make it a little more accurate. We see 90k here. This is a 2x31 Ditto. What if we just get rid of the speed stat entirely? Let's do 25 plus speed. Let's get rid of the HP stat entirely, excuse me. Something like this is much more comparable, 14k, but then even mine is a little better. Let's go ahead. Let's just look for these. I saw some 8k ones here for special attack and timid, which is, honestly, these are pretty cheap in my opinion. I feel like like having nature on these is even super cheap. I could maybe flip all 3 of these like long term for like 15k or so, but it's not really worth the little Pokeyen here and there. What I'm probably going to do is list mine for around, I mean, all of mine's just better than all of these is the nice thing. This is a tough one. The issue is someone has to be looking for it really specifically becomes the only concern. What if we do 25? Like, the only concern becomes that someone has to look for it super specifically. I feel like I can definitely sell this for like as high as 40k or something insane, but you know what? Because it only... man, someone's definitely going to buy this to breed special defense on it. It's just going to be so good. This is going to seem insane to you guys, but I'm actually going to list this for 40k, which just seems astronomical, but I think it's correct. We'll give that some time to sell. Let's go ahead and find one more special attack Pokemon to EV train. This Ditto also seems pretty underpriced for 5,500. We'll see if anybody buys it before me. Nope. Seems like I was able to yoink that up. Let's go to flip that Ditto. We bought that for 5,500. I don't know if I'll be able to sell it for that much more, but even if I sell it for like 10k, I mean, I'll take that quick little flip. I've made videos talking about Ditto flipping in the past. It's truly just like one of the best ways to make pretty quick Pokeyen. I'm not going to worry about special attack for the time being. I'm just going to go for these stats. Lowest price, Ditto. See what we're rocking with. Yeah, I can easily sell this for 10k. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and just list it for... should we do just 10k? Should we do 11? Let's do 12,500, similar to what that guy was going for. Is mine similar enough, good enough to actually compete with this? I believe so. Yes, absolutely. So I'm gonna go ahead and list mine for 12,500. Might take a little bit to sell, but it shouldn't be too bad. It'll be a nice little 6K, 5K, 7K flip. Now, I keep getting distracted, but back to special attackers to train up and then sell off. Now, this Roserade is really tempting. This is a really, really, really good Roserade. Only 8K for this. It's so nice. I mean, it's missing that special attack nature, which is unfortunate, but I think that's so cheap. I've got to go ahead and yoink it. It's only been up for 8 minutes, but somebody's been listed for a very short amount of time. That's how you know you're usually getting a good deal on it. And thankfully, I was really worried about this. I didn't remember if I had bought enough XP shares on this account, but I do. And that is a huge point of progression. That is a huge milestone of, hey, you know what? 4 or 5 XP shares to be able to EV train and everything and build more future wealth down the line. That is super nice to see. Let's go EV train a bunch of good Pokemon. First things first, I'm just been doing 252 special attack EVs. Right here at Fortree City, you can just run right over here. There's Gloom right in this little grass spot. It's right next to a PC. I do have to kind of fly back and forth. I don't really have a teleport ocarina. That may be something to look forward to maybe in the next season of Road to PokeMMO. I don't want to spend money on luxurious stuff like ocarinas right now. Ocarinas are a really... it's paying for convenience is what I always call it. The gift shop has a lot of really interesting items, but you don't need any of them. You truly don't need any of the items in the gift shop. Very, very few of them actually offer an objective advantage. It's usually just some sort of convenience. All right, I am on stream at the moment, just EV training these mons like I talked about. We just finished 252 special attack. I'm going to go ahead and do 252 speed. We'll put them in the PC and XP train them and level them up passively later during our gym runs. I'll see you guys after this at 6,700 encounters at the moment. All right, this will be the last horde. Bam, boom, 252 special attack and speed on these Pokemon. I didn't notice until after that Roserade's EVs are kind of fucked. They must have been like that when they were on the GTL, and I just didn't realize. It's not going to be worth for me to spend the money on the berries to actually fix them. I'm just going to sell it as is and hope the buyer is willing to fix it, essentially. But I'm going to put these in the PC, and we'll move on to something else soon. All right, yo, the last clip we made was a couple days ago for me, but I want a quick refresher. So the last thing we did was actually make some Pokemon to level up in the future for profit. We made all these, this Roserade, this Wartortle, this Breloom. We actually have quite a few Pokemon to XP train, which is pretty nice. We make a little layer of them down here. I think these guys are from something else, but there's Wartortle, XP trained, Haunter. All of these need to be XP trained to level 50, and then I can go ahead and sell them off for profit. Except for this guy needs to be leveled to like 64 or whatever it is, whenever you get High Dragon, essentially, but that'll be pretty easy. This Breloom still needs to be EV trained. That's good to keep in mind. And the point of this video, or point of this clip, I guess, is I want to continue that. I want to keep going. I talked about keeping the snowball rolling. You don't want to essentially just stop progressing. You don't want to stop, once you've developed that capital, just slow down. You want to ramp up, ramp up, ramp up. So now I'm actually going to look for Pokemon to match with this Breloom and go for 252 attack and speed on a new set of Pokemon. I want it to take me a while before I run out of Pokemon to XP train. I want to have all of that prepared and taken care of, so I don't have to come back and do it for quite a sec. With these 3 Pokemon in my party, these are the 2 that I need to EV train. I have the Breloom. I only need 3 more Pokemon. So let's go ahead and check the GTL for physical attackers that are going to be super cheap. Something that really would be good for something like this would be a Meowth, but the issue is it needs to have a plus attack nature, so it kind of depends on the prices. Like this one's 50K. This one, Lonely. It's crazy how expensive Meowths are right now. 20K for this, 25 attack, 20 speed. That's all the stats, Lonely Nature. I mean, but they kind of sell and it kind of makes sense. It's just kind of shocking. I don't know if I want something that bad. There's Adamant here. I saw something 33K for 30 attack, 26 speed. I might buy this one hilariously. At level 100, this would make a ton of money. That's the big thing. But getting a Meowth, the issue is these aren't, XP training to level 50. These are XP training to level 100. And the scary thing with these is that if you let them evolve, you kind of lose all your money. So it's a kind of a high risk, high reward situation. I'm going to buy 2 of them. I think having 2 Meowths to level, it's going to last a lot longer. That's the huge benefit to them. And honestly, these guys are high level, which is nice, 45 and 55. So that's going to save me a ton of time during that leveling process. So yeah, you know what? I'll spend the 60K or whatever to invest into those. We need 1 more Pokemon still. And I feel like this Apom is going to be perfect. Naughty Nature, 25 plus attack, HP, special defense, speed. It's obviously lacking that defense, but that's totally okay. This is a super hyper cheap Apom that I can definitely sell for more money down the line once I make it into a pretty mediocre comp or a good comp for someone. So there we go. We've got our Pokemon. It's time to just go EV train. Now, something interesting is that I normally would just go EV train at Bouffalant up here for a physical attack, but I already got a shiny Bouffalant on this account. So I actually need to change up, switch up, and do a new attack EV training spot. I don't want to do Nidorino either in Kanto because I have a shiny on my main account for that Pokemon. So I've got to think for a sec. All right, I think I'm just going to do speed first since that attack EV is going to be a little bit of a pain. Not having access to Sinnoh in a lot of the locations that I usually would train at already being kind of taken care of. It makes for a weird situation. Now, I did something really funny there. I have my XP shares and all my Pokemon, and I accidentally got into a battle. So what I'm probably going to do here is I'm probably going to log out so I don't misplace any EVs, but it depends. So Patrat, for example, I think he might give attack or speed EVs. Yeah, so he's actually fine to kill. If you ever find yourself in a situation like this, you might actually want to check, hey, should I just log and, not place all these bad IVs across all these Pokemon, or should I just check everything? Like, there's a lot of attack and speed low-level mons early game, so I'm going to try to check stuff, and, this is also probably attack or speed. Lillipup, let's go ahead and double check. Let's see, +1 attack. Yep, we're fine to kill that. And then another Patrat. So we're actually fine to kill this entire youngster Joey, which is kind of funny, but it was still a mistake by me. I'm looking for a Liepard Swarm over here for speed. Should be in the dark grass. It might be down here. But just in case, I'm going to take the XP shares off my Pokemon, at least for the time being. Free 1x defend. I bet that I'm going to have to go down through this whole area to actually get around and knock that rock up north to be able to unlock this spot, but I guess I would have had to do it at some point or another. It unlocks a really cool EV training spot long term, so you know what, I'll do it. Didn't expect myself to be doing storyline content today, yet here we are. We get jump scared by a gnome. What's up, Gorm? Okay, that's the most gnome name. Gorm? Come on, man. I think this is one of those post-game gnomes that you find around the whole world to essentially collect all 8 or something, and then you get a prize. Hey, you gave me a free TM Swords Dance, though. Thank you, Mr. Gnome. Yeah, and then the copper shows up to take them away. And here we are, the infamous rock that I can finally push forward and actually fully unlock this area without having to go through that whole underground area again, where I get caught by every single turning trainer. Now I can just rush over here, Sweet Scent, and this should be the Liepard Swarm. I'm going to go ahead and put all my XP shares on my Pokemon just preemptively, assuming that that's what this is, but I'm pretty sure this should be a Liepard Swarm. Let me see. Perfect. See you guys after 252 speed EVs. Quick little A-Palm evolution, easy peasy. Gotta keep an eye out for those Meowths though and not let them evolve. Once again, you lose most of your value on a Meowth if it evolves into Persian. I didn't really explain that, but the reason is because Meowth has the pickup ability and Persian does not. So if you evolve it, Persian can only get the Limber and Technician ability, where Meowth has the pickup and Technician ability, and you actually really want pickup on it, even though this one has Technician. I'd have to ability pill it later on. I'll have to ability pill both of them, it seems like. Okay, only one, thankfully. It'll cost me 35k, which is kind of expensive, but level 100 Meowth go for a ton of money. I feel like I didn't show you guys that at all either, but let's go ahead and just check out, what's the cheapest level 100 Meowth? Without any stats at all, 129 Pokeyen, 130k Pokeyen, which is an insane profit. Now let's try to go for 25 and maybe look for a plus attack nature. We see 200k without worrying about nature. Let's look for the first plus adamant nature, 310,000 Pokeyen. That's some big shmoney, fellas. Meowth are underrated, huge Pokeyen makers, but they carry a bit of risk with them because Persians become worth 65k Pokeyen at level 100. So the price difference is pretty astronomical. All right, this should be my last horde for 252 speed. I'm going to go ahead and take a break here and find some sort of attack EV training spot. I'll probably do that one on stream. I think I have one in mind, so I'm going to go ahead and head over to that location. We've canceled tons of Meowth evolutions successfully so far. Hopefully that keeps up as well. But I'm going to head over to Kanto. I think there might be a secondary shiny hunting / EV training spot that I can actually do here. It's not a shiny that I'm super interested in, but something I talk about all the time and something I find is that, you know what, the more time you spend with a Pokemon, the more time you spend with that Pokemon's shiny especially, you kind of find ways to enjoy it. It's almost hard to hate a Pokemon for a long period of time. So, you know what? Scrap everything I just said. What I was gonna go do was go to the Seafoam Islands and go over to a Kingler horde, but you know what? Screw that. There's actually a better location that I want to do instead with some shiny Pokemon that I actually like, and that's gonna be Arbok / Primeape over here up on this route. Now, this route, the downsides are it's gonna take a while to get to, and you need Lepa berries. I do have some Lepa berries, thankfully. But the Kingler spot was going to need Lepa berries anyway, and that's a Pokemon that I don't even care about, nor do I enjoy, so I might as well go to a spot that I like the Pokemon. So it's going to take a while to get here. We're going to need Lepa berries for it. It's not a perfect spot. It's not fantastic, but you know what? It will do. Once I head up to this location, I'm probably going to pop a Repel because you do have to tread quite a while or go quite a while to actually get to the location. Once I encounter a wild encounter spot, I'll go ahead and pop a small Repel. You have to go decently into this route. You have to go through all this water. It may not be as far as I think. Maybe with repels, I think it might be right here. Technically, if you wanted to just do repels, that honestly might be cheaper than doing Lepas at this location. But it's going to be up to you. It kind of takes a lot more time. I'm just going to use Lepa berries. The price, the 2K price difference, each 6 hordes or whatever, isn't going to be too crazy for me. But this is a cool physical attack EV training spot. Let's go ahead and double check, make sure I'm getting the right stats. Yup, perfect, incredible. Shiny Arbok is awesome. Shiny Primeape is fine, but he is an angry monkey, and I do like that. All right, and with that, the stream is done, my throat is sore, and the EV training is complete. Look at that, 252 EVs across the board. I think all these Pokemon have pretty clean EVs. I don't think any of them had messed up IVs when buying. I didn't double check though, but yeah, everything looks super nice. Let's take these XP shares, let's throw them in the PC, and let's go ahead and call that a day, fellas. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like a ton of progress was made in this episode. Hopefully you guys feel the same way, and hopefully you enjoyed your time spent here. If you did, make sure to remember to leave a like on the video. It helps out tremendously. Dislike if you didn't. That is always encouraged and totally okay as well. Subscribe to the channel for daily PokeMMO videos. Follow the Twitch for streams Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Discord's links down below if you care about that, and if you're interested, and if you want to go above and beyond and support the channel financially, YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, and PayPal/Venmo do help out a ton. Here's everything lined up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or 10. Yeah, I could have just done 10 minus 1. 9 Pokemon ready to be XP trained. Lots of progress made. Lots of fruit to bear in the future. I'll see you guys on episode 28 of Road to PokeMMO. We should be able to call this a challenge complete semi-soon, hopefully. I'm going to try to shoot for maybe within 35 episodes. I think easily within 35 we could make 10 mil. Let's try to make it happen. Yo, thank you so much for watching until the very end of the video. I really appreciate that, and hopefully it was worth your time. If your name is on this list, that means I appreciate you even more, and you go above and beyond and physically allow my channel to function. I appreciate you so much, and have a great day.